All right, well, I mentioned in the previous episode of One Leg Up, it is a big game tonight. And I was wondering, should we keep him on later in the week or have him on right at the start? How do we not have Lou Terminello, a 28-year NBA executive, on before the biggest series the Knicks have had? Look, Indiana last year was a big deal too, but this is big, Lou. This is big. The Knicks need to prove that they can get past the second round, don't they?
This is big, Alex. Alex, you are 100% right. This is big.
So
And,
much so, it's dominated the back pages of the Post and the Daily News today, by the way.
well, it should. I mean, obviously, at this time of year, with no hockey teams left, I mean, the baseball season has just started. No matter how we want to talk about every game, just the season just started. So this is the big event. It's Boston, New York. It's two of the original NBA franchises, and the Knicks have a great opportunity here.
You want to win first, right? You want to win first, though.
Well, you want to win first. You saw last night. Now, I'm not comparing the Celtics and the Cavaliers. I know the Cavaliers had a better record than the Celtics. I still favor the Celtics to come out of the East. But Cleveland didn't play in a week. They got caught a little bit with their pants down, as the old saying goes. And Indiana played a terrific game. They're well coached. Rick Carlisle's a terrific coach, and they stole the home court advantage. And Indiana's record over like the last 4 months of the season, I mean, is like off the charts impressive. So, but here's a chance for the Knicks tonight. They got to catch the Celtics a little lethargic. All right, this is only game one. I think the first quarter is going to be key to see how they play. Brunson obviously is going to lead the way.
I was going to say they have to carry the momentum that Brunson 3 into Boston. That's what they've got to do. And the other thing is, I mean, the other thing that makes this series always different than any other series is the rich history. I mean, you've lived through it, right? The Boston, New York of any sport, Boston, New York hockey, Boston, New York baseball, right? Everything. This is deeper than just the court. This is a cultural thing right now.
No doubt about it. I mean, obviously, as I just said, the Knicks and the Celtics are original NBA franchises. They've played in playoff series before. The most probably, as far as the Knicks go, in '68 they lost in 6 to them, but the Knicks were coming on. You knew the next year the Knicks had a chance to win the whole thing. The Celtics, that was their last hurrah. It was Russell's last year. And they won the championship. The Celtics did, even though the Knicks had a better record than them. And then even when I was with the Nets, the 2 years we went to the finals, we played the Celtics the first year and we beat them in 6 in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then the next year we beat them in the Eastern Conference semifinals 4 straight.
So, and we talk about this game. I know I've talked to you about this game before. My dad and I were at a game, Boston versus New Jersey. Paul Pierce, one of those guys in the Celtics, gets tossed, and the Celtics come back and beat the Nets after that ejection. I'll never forget that because it was like all of a sudden this guy gets tossed out, and the Boston Celtics come back. I mean, that's a moment I won't forget. But I want to talk about Willis because Willis was there through all of this, and you knew Willis well. Did he tell you any stories about Boston versus New York?
Well, really, for the Willis Reed Knicks, their biggest rival was the Lakers. They played the Lakers in the '70 finals. The famous Willis coming through the tunnel game. They beat them in 7. Then 2 years later, Willis did not play because of a knee injury. He missed the whole season basically. But the Knicks got to the finals again against the Lakers. The Knicks won the first game, shooting like 71%. And they won game 1. Jerry Lucas and Frazier and Monroe and DeBusschere, all a part of that team. But the Lakers, that was the team, the year the Lakers won, they just rampaged through the season. And then in '73, the Knicks played them again. So the Knicks played them 3 times in the finals in 4 years. Willis was back. Willis was the finals MVP. The Knicks won the championship. And so the Willis Reed Knicks, yes, the Celtics were a rival, but the Lakers were their rival because the Lakers had a better team. The Celtics, it was at the end of their dynasty, and they were going through their transition. until they got Cowens and JoJo White. And but in '73, in the Eastern Conference Finals, they did play the Celtics, and they played in a 7-game series. The Celtics won 68 games during the regular season, and the Knicks played them in the conference finals. Got off to a 3-1 lead. Game 5 at Boston Garden, the Celtics won a close one. 3 games until they come back to the Garden. It was a Friday night game at the Garden, and the Celtics won in overtime.
Okay.
And then they played Game 7 at Boston Garden on Sunday. Havlicek playing with a very bad damaged shoulder. They had a terrific team. Cowens, they had a terrific team. Silas, Paul Silas, terrific player, just a great rebounder. The Celtics got off to a 14-0 lead, I believe. It looked like the Knicks were dead. The Knicks then turned everything around. Dean Meminger probably had he had the best game of his Knicks career, and the Knicks won easily, basically just taking over the game from that early deficit, and then beat the Celtics in Game 7 at Boston. I believe it was the first time the Celtics ever lost a Game 7 in a playoff series at home, and then they beat the Lakers, and that was really the last hurrah for that group of Knicks: the Frazier, Bradley, DeBusschere, Reed, Monroe, Dick Barnett, who passed away last week. Those Knicks. So tonight will be definitely interesting.
I think we got to look in the first. I know everything seems to come down to the last minute or so of a basketball game, but if they're not out in full strength, the Knicks, if they're banged up going into this game, that's going to be a warning shot from the beginning of the series. If you could tell in the first few minutes, right?
Well, again, many times games are close at the end and then one on the last second shot or in the last 2 minutes. But many times, even though it looks like, the game was decided in the last 2 minutes, it really was decided in the second quarter or the first quarter because of some kind of drought, some kind of lack of rebounding or defense. Well, if you look at Houston and Golden State last night, and I was watching the game, and I knew early on that Golden State had a little bit of advantage. Obviously, they're more experienced than Houston. This is Houston's first time they were going around playing in a situation like this. But you saw that Golden State was a little bit more in control, had a little bit more handle of what was going on. So sometimes you can tell early. I think it's imperative for the Knicks to get off to a good start. If the Celtics fall in love with the 3-point shot, that can come back to bite them. So we're going to have to see the strategy.
I remember there's a team that that made a record number of threes this season. It's quite something to watch. So we'll have to see. But you mentioned the West, and I have to talk about this because, oh my God, how much heat is James Harden getting once again for his Game 7 failure? And talk about the Rockets and Warriors. You remember years ago, they missed like 27 threes, the Rockets, and he missed a lot of those threes, actually. I remember that like it was yesterday. But what is it? What leads that funk for him in Game 7, it seems like?
Well, how could James Harden in the 7th game only take 8 field goal attempts? Alex, does he have the will to win, or he just wants to collect his money? And I hate to be so crass, but does he have that will to win? As I told you many times, there are guys in the NBA over their history that would cut your heart out. Michael Jordan would cut your heart out to win. Kobe Bryant would do that. Jason Kidd would do that. You have those guys who would do that. James Harden definitely doesn't have that. And I don't even know if after that game, that affected him in a negative way. He probably just went on, okay, I'm going to go wherever I'm going to do now, go to the Caribbean. I don't know if he worries about his legacy. And he's had really, if this was a singular bad 7th game, okay. But you're right. He's had numerous playoff failures.
And he was injured, if I remember correctly, or he wasn't at full strength either when the Nets had that team.
Well, he wasn't full, and he did play basically on one leg. I give him kudos for that, but again, over the course of his career, yeah, he's had too many failures, and you hate to peg just postseason failures and forget how his brilliance in the regular season. But how could this great player fail in the playoffs over and over again and take only 8 shots the other night? That was an embarrassment. The Clippers gave up.
And I think people were really surprised at how bad the game was. I mean, It was out of reach pretty early.
Yes, because the series had been a very good series. So.
And I admittedly had not been following this closely, but I know you. This is why I have you on, because you cover everything. You follow it. You're up till 3 a.m, I'm sure, covering all this stuff. So it's fun. And you know what's weird? Even though there's not been a New York team in the NHL side, and obviously the Knicks are in, so that makes it interesting. I still feel like both playoffs have been very intriguing. Like they've just been both interesting playoffs in an atmosphere which is only a 1-team town. Normally, we have both teams in the postseason right now.
Well, sometimes you have all 5 of them in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, for the next 10 days, this will be dominant. And again, the schedule's good, Alex. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're playing tonight, then they're playing Wednesday, and then I don't think they play until Saturday. I mean, I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but I think basically what it is, there's rest between games for both of these teams, not only just for the Knicks, for the Celtics.
And I know the Celtics are coming in also a little banged up, so they need a bit of that rest too. We'll have to see. It'll be fun. It'll conjure up a lot of things. I'm sure the B-roll will be about all the historic matchups between the two of them. So.
Alex, one playoff series has nothing to do with the other. The Celtics beating Orlando, the Knicks being Detroit, that really will have nothing to do with this playoff series. Will the rotation be different? Will Ochoa play more for the Knicks? Will somebody play less for the Knicks? Will he go deeper into his bench? Those are things that we'll see. Al Horford, guys like that. Will there be some unsung heroes for the Celtics? They got a deep team, Alex. And I hate to repeat myself, it's going to be hard to beat them 4 out of 7.